is not the Herd. I'm not the Herd, and he's not Joy Taylor.
So,
Uh, so this is episode 9. It's going to be a reduced episode with no guests on or anything. It's just going to be like tying up a couple of loose ends, talking about mid-season stuff, things that have happened, things that are going to happen, and just taking a more rangy look at maybe what we would do if we had a guest on. So the first thing I want to talk about is the NFC 1 seed.
ooh, yeah.
So looking at it, I mean, I'm not. I just want to rule them out right away. I don't think the Rams or the Cardinals have any hope. If they win out, they're going to have 13 wins. I got three other teams that can get 15. One that can get 16 actually. Um, so it looks like a three-horse race between the winners of the East, winners of the North, and the winners of the South. At the moment, Zach and the Giants are the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Niall and the Bears are the 2 seed, and Adam and the Saints are the 3 seed.
Largely due to a lack of divisional wins, to be fair, on Adam.
I was getting to that. The Saints have one divisional win, the Bears have two, the Giants have played other divisional games that are 6-0, so you're not getting that tiebreaker. Speaking of tiebreakers, that's kind of the only way to measure the 1 seed now between them. I talked about it a little bit in the group, but for those who haven't seen it, I would say primarily Stoops. The uh, the breakdown is as follows: the most important team for the 1 seed is the Bears because they control their own destiny and the destiny of the Saints and the Giants. So the
Yeah, that'll
Bears.
be.
Oh, go on ahead.
No, 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 far away.
I was gonna say the Bears meet the Saints in week 13, and they meet the Giants sooner. They actually meet the Giants in week 12. Um, I don't want to. I mean, we can talk for quite a while about what the 1 seed means and how they're gonna get it, and etc. etc. I think I don't want to make it too simple, but I think if Zach beats Niall in week 12, Zach's the 1 seed because, like I said, I'm trying to recap everybody that didn't read it in the chat. Excuse me. The Texans would be favourites. I think the Texans are favourites to beat Zach, but it's close. But even if he was to take that loss, it's a cross-conference loss, whereas Zach or Adam, sorry, has already lost to Stoops. So
Yeah.
Niall is kind of the sticking point for both teams. Um, Niall's got an interesting schedule. If he wins out, it's very likely he's going to end up being
Well, if he
the 1
wins out,
seed.
is he not the 1 seed? Because he would have had ahead over Zach.
If he wins out, he would be beating Zach and Adam. If he wins out, he'll get the 1 seed because Adam will have 2 losses and he'll have head to head over Zach. Yeah. So for
I'm
now,
not saying that is going to happen.
no, 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 no. Like I don't think honestly, I don't think Zach, who's undefeated, is winning out. It's really tough to win out, especially with a couple of player games your schedule. But Niall's schedule is so. He's got the Vikings next. I'd imagine he's massive favourites to beat them. He's massive favourites to beat New England. He's handy favourites to beat Green Bay at least once, if not twice. The Lions game,
Who did Niall's
he's
loss come to? Dallas?
Dallas. Yeah.
Okay.
No, normally I mean I look at it's not just for Niall, it's for a lot of people. For the most of the league, I would look at a CPU game, and unless it's like Tampa away, you generally make them at least
Yeah, in the
marginal favourites
quietest way
for it.
possible, a CPU game should pretty much be a.
But I don't like Niall's remaining schedule. Like he's got Green Bay twice. He doesn't tend to do the double over them, whether they're CPU or not. And he's got Detroit, who he always makes a meal out of. And then he's got the worst possible back-to-back head-to-head matchups you could imagine. Week 12, he's got Zach, who's trying to go undefeated and finish as strongly as possible, and really
Not to interrupt and take away from football, but Galaxy Quest is on Netflix for anybody who doesn't know what to do tomorrow.
hot diggity damn. I know what I'm doing now.
Watch Galaxy Quest.
So the Giants are probably the most motivated CP or user team rather that you could face right now.
Mm-hmm.
And adding into the mix, he's got Adam, and Adam since week 1 has had this game circled in the schedule because of the lag thing in the
I was
NFC
going to
title
say
game.
he's
Yeah.
definitely looking for a little bit of revenge.
Oh no, no, I mean he's been pretty vocal about it in the group, so far as I remember. He he wants this game in a bad way.
Not
So
not to continue with the Netflix recommendations for everybody. There
well, it
is a
depends if they're good.
documentary called "The Power of Grayskull: The Definitive History of He-Man"
God,
on
that's a
Netflix.
weird. That's weird. I might watch that actually.
Yeah, there's also an animated Thor movie.
Probably give that a miss.
Thor: Tales of Asgard looks terrible. Um,
On Netflix.
yeah, I reckon Adam's definitely.
Well,
I
see,
think
that's what I was going to say to you. Who's
Adam probably wants to beat Niall in the regular season and beat Zach in the title game and beat John in the ball. I'd say that would be Adam's dream playoffs.
if
Niall,
Adam beats
Niall, or
Niall
sorry,
in
not Niall. Niall in divisional round.
if he beats Niall in the regular season slash divisional round, we'll get to that. Beats Zach in the title game and beats John in the Super Bowl. It's got to be a contender for the greatest CFM season ever. It's right up there.
In my opinion, it's got to be a consideration for retirement, or at least leaving the Saints.
What was your greatest season ever? Because the one that always
Probably the
sticks out to
first one.
me.
Where,
Oh, go
okay,
ahead.
Anime X-Men is on.
No, no,
There
don't
are
like it.
11 episodes. It looks
No, it's
weird.
not. Yeah, it's not great. I'm not against anime. I've seen the anime X Men ones, and it's not doesn't
Well,
hold
to
a
be fair,
candle to the original.
the original X-Men, like,
Oh, John was talking about that. You get that
intros
watched
for the
on
anime,
Disney
it's
Plus.
fantastic.
Fantastic.
It's really, really good. But yeah, like, surely if Adam does that, if Adam wins out the rest of the season, beats Niall, Zach, John in his 3 playoff games,
Hmm.
a return to New Orleans must be just in no way appealing, really.
Well, Adam and I have always said that the
Again,
best.
surely the whole point of it for Adam is achievement.
Yeah,
Would repeating it be an achievement?
no. I mean, I would say yes because it's only ever really been done once before. Like I was saying, Adam and I always consider the greatest CFM single season was the Patriots 16-0 in year three, where I beat Niall and then in a playoff game, and then I beat Matt in the title game, and then I beat Adam in the bowl. So I beat everybody else that was in the league in a 3 game stretch. So
Yeah.
if he and I would argue that the competition of beating John, Niall, and Zach is better than Zach, Matt, and Adam. Mostly because
It's better than.
Niall's common in them, but he's better now. Zach has a
I don't know.
ridiculous offense, and John, yeah, I hate admitting on the podcast, but I seem to do it regular enough. John's probably the single best. Like, if you're gonna play him tomorrow, has the highest chance of beating you in CFM history.
I think that Niall is not a very good shot because it would be really difficult. That's not a criticism of Niall. But Niall has an opportunity to have the best CFM season ever.
How so?
He could go
If he gets the
Adam.
1 seed, he's had one of the best regular seasons ever. 100%.
No, not even. He could. I'd be happy to see him go 12-4 and still have the best season ever.
Because he could then go to the postseason and.
He could go Adam or Zach Adam or Adam Zach, whichever way around it would be. Probably Adam Zach because Zach would be in the
We're going to
title.
talk
Zach would be
about
the
our
one
playoff
seed.
brackets at the end of this podcast, but I'm telling
He
you, no
could
matter what way
he
you
could
slice it, Zach
easily
is the
go.
favourite.
He could easily go Adam Zach John, which I think would be the hardest
Adam Zach
title
John's incredible.
ever.
Yeah. No, that's
Oh,
way.
there is a sequel to Train to Busan out.
Yes, yeah, there is. Yeah, I didn't even like the first one.
I did quite like the first one, to
It's
be fair.
like it's intense for the sake of being intense. Like it's just a
It's
lot. It feels like there's a lot happening.
it's slightly uncomfortable to watch an Asian super virus.
Yeah, I mean that's not great at the moment
If I
either.
want to watch that, I'd put the news on like that. It's
But the
well, I'll not put the news on at the minute. That's the only good thing about what's happening in America at the minute is that it has taken COVID massively out of the news.
true, that's very true.
COVID has become very, very boring compared to what's happening out there.
So I would say Zach's gonna get the 1 seed. I'll be amazed if it turns out any other way.
Really?
Just looking at the rest of the schedule, yeah.
Does Zach still have to play Adam?
No, they don't meet. Otherwise, I would just
That's
this
unfortunate.
entire topic would be see whoever wins out of Zach and Adam. That's the 1 seed.
This we would be having a nice Zach and Adam podcast. But
But I mean, Adam James Earls has the easiest schedule going forwards. Adams is quite a cakewalk too. Adam goes Atlanta, Cincinnati, Nile, Carolina, Atlanta, Carolina, Tampa Bay.
Niall is probably Adam's toughest game.
Either that or Tampa Bay again.
I don't know, did he just smash Tampa Bay and his offense didn't even play particularly well?
The rest of the
By the
teams that
way,
were Cincinnati and the garbage teams in this division.
it'll be
Whereas
Niall and then Tampa will be the toughest two games.
Zach's schedule is a lot tougher, but this is a testament to what I think Zach's capable of doing. Zach's schedule is Tennessee, Nile, Seattle, Detroit, John, Jacksonville, Carolina.
Whose schedule was that? Sorry, is that Niles?
At
Or
Zach's,
Zach's? Zach's? Oh, okay.
it's
Zach John could be a
it's
nice
tricky
game.
enough. Zach John is going to be a nice game.
I don't know.
The only person that can lose it is
No
John,
offense to either. No
because Zach
offense
can
to
get
either of them,
blown
but
out and learn so much from it, whereas John can't really learn too much.
I don't think either person's going into that and showing anything.
We'll see. John kind of
What week
has
is
to,
it?
because
Is it not week 16 or week 17?
it's 15. John kind of needs
Oh,
to do
that's
something in it
late
because, what do you
enough.
call it? John at the moment is not even the favourite for the one seed in his own conference.
To be fair though, I don't think John gives a shit. I think John's happy to finish second.
I said that, but then he was in the chat like, "Whoa, I don't know if I can beat James Cameron, so he won't want to play him at Mile High." I mean, Mile
Yeah,
High,
I think John could easily get second and
the
still
shit,
get to the
the
bowl.
shitter team will get a
Not,
bonus at Mile High because you're able to kick 60-yard field goals. Average teams can sort of hang around.
what?
I says whenever the reason that he won't want James Cameron to be the
You,
one
you,
seed.
you cut out in mine, sorry.
Oh, okay. You won't want to be going to Denver because the average team like will be able to hang in a game better because you can kick long range field goals at Mile High.
Yeah.
Whereas if John has him somewhere like 14-0 down, you're like, if he kicks a field goal, he's back in the game. But if you can't kick a field goal at NRG, all of a sudden you got to go for it in fourth more. Just playing at home has always suited John, or at least not playing at Mile High.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go on the road to James Cameron, but at the same time, I think John could do it.
Right, let's talk, and this is a good conversation point. Second year coaches.
Who are we starting with?
I was just going to let you rant about them for a wee bit.
Okay, so you
I'm going to
pick an
send you the
order.
record so you have them.
You tell me a second year coach, and I'll tell you my opinion.
Okay, we'll go reverse order on wins since the end of last year, since the start of last year. So
Okay.
Nick is 9-15 with a 0-5 PvP record and no playoff berths, but might be in contender for biggest turnaround of the year.
Yeah. He spent a full year just learning, but he looks much better this year.
I don't remember the last time I seen a player have such a jump from year one to year two.
Yeah, he looks really impressive. I think he'll make the playoffs this year.
Bear in
He's
mind
in a
that
tough.
he's lost 15 games, and was it 13 of them were last year? He's six and
He's
two
in.
right now, and
He's in a tough division as well. James Cameron's a good player.
he's a solid wildcard team as well. When you look at the standings, he's currently the 5 seed. He would need to lose 2 or 3 games in a row to drop out of it.
I think he'll get in, and he'll have earned it, and it'll be a nice story for the league as well. To go from last year where Nick was just not winning, yeah,
Yeah,
to being able to be like, yeah, I'm comfortably a playoff team. I think it's fantastic. Okay, who's next?
next up we go the Giants, who are 17-8. They have a 5-3 PvP record, which is the most PvP wins, tied with James Earls. Something to do with NFCs maybe. And they also missed the playoffs last year.
Well, they're definitely not missing this year. But
They need like 3 wins to mathematically secure, but no, they're not missing this year, are they?
why would you put Star Trek Into Darkness and Star Trek Beyond on Amazon, but not Star Trek first one?
These are the real questions. I like this podcast a lot tonight.
Really, really. And nobody replied in the group. Oh, it's so they can get 3.99 out of you. Jeff Bezos, you're a prick. Yeah, Zach. Zach's probably the third best player in the league.
Overall from the last 2 seasons,
Yeah.
James Cameron is offended somewhere.
Well, let's be honest. James Cameron hasn't looked that. James Cameron, I honestly didn't look that much better than Zach last year. Zach, if Zach had played 5 games of Madden offline before he joined the CFM, he
Zach is
probably
playing better this year than James Cameron played last year, I'll grant you that.
Zach got screwed over by the fact that he literally just was like, "Okay, I'll join your CFM and play from the start."
Here's Teddy Bridgewater, he's on $50 million a year.
Yeah. Zach hadn't really played Madden before he joined the league, so you can't be that, you know, like I can say Zach lost a lot of games early last year. In fact, Zach most of Zach's losses came early last year, and that's what sort of did him in the end. Is that he was like a game or two behind everybody going into the playoffs, and it was like, he'd maybe lost 4 in the bounce to start the season, whereas if he'd won 2, 3 of them, he'd have walked in. And obviously this year he has been fantastic.
Yeah, when you look at his schedule last year, he lost his first 2 games, which were user or CPU games, and then his first CFM win in history came against Niall in week 3. And if
Yeah,
you think he didn't learn anything from that, in the week after he blew Seattle out 35-0.
yeah, he's absolutely flying now, and
Zach
he's got.
won 6 of his last 8. No,
I
5 of
think
his last 8. 5.
I'm not trying to put any pressure on anybody, but I think Zach will be really, really disappointed if he's not in the title game.
So do I. And it's going to be really hard for him to miss the title game again.
I'm
We'll
not
get to
saying
that.
that he has to win the bowl or that he has to reach the bowl even.
Yeah.
Because him versus Adam, nobody's saying like, oh well, Zach's a massive favourite if he loses that he's bald. Obviously not.
No,
If Zach makes the title again, I think that's a very good season for him.
I would
Obviously,
concur.
obviously he's gonna want more because he's playing really, really well to win. But
He's going to want more, but he should be credited for less. He's going to win the NFCs for the first time.
if Zach goes 16-0 and loses the title game to Adam, I don't think anybody's gonna be like, "Oh my god, how did you lose? You're undefeated." Like,
Right?
Zach should be very, very happy with that. And to be honest, he's been a really nice feel-good story of the league this year. Playing really, really well. Um, yeah, it's been enjoyable. I don't know if he'll win it all, to be honest. But
It's always really. I mean, we all called Adam and John for the bowl last year. It's hard to even call who's going to be in the dance at this stage. Though we're going to try at the end of this podcast. It's really hard to predict who's going to be where. With
there
any
is
sort
a
of accuracy.
documentary on Amazon called "The Plot Against the President" about how Donald Trump has been smeared by the media. Uh,
It's a lot
and
easier to smear you in the media when you're, let's just say, so smearable.
I was gonna say they should definitely bring out like a revised version. But okay, who's next?
Last but not least, James Cameron. He is 20 for
James
5.
Ellis is technically a second-year coach.
No, we're not doing that.
Well, it's his second year in the job.
It's his 4th year of CFM.
Yeah, but it's his second year in Dallas.
It's his 3rd year in Dallas.
But it's a completely different Dallas team. The other one had Matt Stafford.
Okay, so we'll do 2nd-year coaches and also people who have been in the same place for just 2 years in a row.
Yeah, which John as well, anyway.
That's for the first time, yeah.
Yeah. Well, not do John. Because
James Cameron is 20 for 5 and 4 for 2 in the PvP. He
Um,
won the AFC West last year and he reached the AFC title game in his rookie season and somehow didn't win it. I'm not going to get into that because that's mean. I'll
yeah.
leave that to you.
Octon always looked good. He's looked impressive. I think he's going to win this division this year. Not as easy as he won it last year. Last year, to be fair, it was probably the easiest division of football. I mean, Nick and the Chiefs had about 5 or 6 wins between them. That's not exactly a difficult
Yeah.
division. And the bottom 2 teams have 6 wins, and I don't think the Chargers were 500. So that's pretty much being handed to you. Not that he didn't play well, but that he could have played a lot worse and still got where he went. He's sorry. He's probably he's going to win the division again this year, I'd say, unless he has a bit of a collapse and Nick is perfect from here on
Yeah, Nick would kind of need to be perfect.
out. Once you're winning your division every year, like James is starting to, because I do think he's going to win it this year. He's got to look at how does he stop his season ending with John every year.
See, that's the what do you call it? That's the dichotomy of CFM. You need to work out how to win games, then you work out how to win your division, then you work out how to get to the playoffs and make a run when you get there. Then you have to work out how to win the Super Bowl. So John needs to work out how to retain the Super Bowl. Niall's target should be to win the Super Bowl this year when he gets there. Zach's target, like I said, Zach's target should be to win the NFC East. I'm not trying to downplay what he's done. He's had a really great season, but when he wins the NFC East, rather, it should be like, wow, I won a division title, which I didn't last year, and then it's a free hit in the postseason. Adam's job should be to win the NFC title game and get back to the bowl. James Cameron, like you said, has just got to get past John in the postseason.
There's a couple of people in this league that are going to notice a big difference next year.
Oh, James Earls and I'm just trying to work out what everybody else's target should be. James Earls and Stoops should both be to win a playoff game. Stoops should have one eye on trying to regain the NFC West. It's still mathematically possible, very possible. But both of them, James and
It's getting
Stoops, have
harder
both
every
got.
game.
James and Stoops have both been to the postseason. James twice, and neither guy has got a playoff win yet. Nick, your job is to get to the postseason, and at 6-2, you're poised to do so.
Yeah, Nick should be very happy at the halfway point. Yeah, I think 2 people are going to have a bit of a sort of shock to the system, or a bit of a reality check next year.
Who's that and why?
I think it's James Cameron and Zach. Because, as we point out religiously in this league, everybody loves you when you're bad, and everybody loves you when you're new and good. See, once you start beating the people who are being nice to you, and you start winning their divisions, that dies out very quickly.
I don't know why you're saying next year. James Cameron has only lost a player game this year, and Zach hasn't lost a game. The next time James Cameron or Zach lose, I mean, one of them's getting at both barrels. Like,
Probably James Cameron because he talks a lot more shit.
he's got
Zach's
the
nice.
unpredictable enigma next week. By the way, it's James Cameron versus Stoops in a must-see marquee matchup,
I know, that's gonna be good.
isn't it? And
Zach's nice to
Stoops needs
everybody.
that game.
Zach's really nice to everybody, but again, and everybody will be nice back until the point that you beat them in a playoff game, and then suddenly, I don't give a shit how nice you are, and it dies out very quick.
All I remember is when you came into the league and you won 7 games straight, and everybody loved you. And then you started talking some shit, and then you lost to the
I won
Chiefs.
10 games straight, and then I lost to the Chiefs, and
You lost the Chiefs, and the sky fell down.
yeah, it was like, oh my god, you lost. How can you? Teams with 4 or 5 losses on their record are sitting going, "How you lost 1 game, class."
It was funny because it was the Chiefs you ended up knocking out of the divisional round. Classic.
Yeah, that's just what this league becomes, and it's the best. Well, it's the best and the worst part of it is that I like when I lost that Chiefs game, I was 8-1, I think. top of my division pretty much nailed on in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And out of the two teams that talked the most shit to me, one
Do you
of
not
them missed.
already beaten one of them?
One of them missed the playoffs that year. The other one got beaten in the divisional or in the wild card round by the Saints, the CPU Saints.
No, 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 no. They won the wildcard game, and they got beaten in the divisional round by the CPU Saints.
Who did John beat in the wild card?
They went to Green Bay and won, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, neither of them made it to the title game. One of them didn't even make the playoffs. But that's just what happens. Like you'll get. No, but you'll get teams that maybe aren't as good as you talking just as much because, well, some of it's down to because they're not winning as many games as you're winning, and that's just it.
See, that's the thing with this
You
league.
know?
Whenever you're not winning games, you talk shit, and whenever you're winning all your games, you talk shit.
Yeah.
There's very little middle ground. Only James Earls and
That's just
Stoops
what
seem to go 5-3 and 500 for most of the year.
Well, James Earls is too nice.
It's hard to talk shit about
I
him though
think that,
because you see his games and you're like, that's just really bad lag.
yeah, yeah, it is hard to slag off James Earls because his games, few of his losses are on him,
It's also
and
incredibly
it's the
easy to do so because
same.
he goes from 13-3 to back to Larne, but he hasn't lost
Yeah,
a CPU
James.
game this
It's
year.
the same reason James Earls doesn't talk shit because James is like, I can't talk shit. My games lag out constantly, but I expect, especially if John was back in the NFC, I would like to see John, Zach, and Adam all in the same conference.
That's not gonna happen.
No, I know, but I'd like to see it.
Be cool, wouldn't it?
I'm 100% convinced. No. But
Well, that's kind of
it
your
would be
job
very.
is making sure the league stays balanced because you want to put all the top teams in one conference, but then we've had that before where Adam was the only team in the NFC and he walked to the title game, and I was the only team in the AFC and I walked to the title game. It's not. You need to make sure there is a bit
That
of
would be
balance.
the essence of balance. If you had Zach, James Cameron, or Zach, John, and Adam in one conference,
Hmm.
and you had James Cameron, Niall, and it would be on Nick, James Earls, or Stoops to step up and be that third team.
So you would still get a top Super Bowl contender because the Adam, John, Zach conference would produce the champion, but the AFC would produce its own champion, or the NFC, whatever division conference they were in. It would make for an interesting dynamic. I'll give you that.
The reason I think it definitely won't happen is that Adam, John, and Zach
Hmm.
wouldn't want to be in the same conference as each other. None of them would want to give up their guaranteed conference game appearance.
But that's the thing; it's not guaranteed because Adams had to share it with. Well, that's the thing. Actually, sorry, you're right. It was always Adam and John when they were in the NFC, and now it's going to be Adam and Zach. A third person does make it kind of prickly, I guess, because someone's not going to be in there in title weekend. Someone's going to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody is getting eliminated on divisional. Somebody doesn't get to play for that win and you're in the Super Bowl shot. And that's the reason it makes it interesting, and it's also the reason it won't happen.
Because
Because
no,
none of
it's
them
a bit
are.
like the London game. Nobody wants to give up that game.
Yeah, nobody's. It's CFC politics. Nobody's going to give up their guaranteed slot. And can you blame them? Like, they have a
Well, no,
free.
like the whole point of the league is to make sure you play. I mean, you're kind of deemed a failure if you don't make the final four. That's
If you're John right now, is there any bit of you that's like,
God. I wish I was playing Adam and Zach.
yeah, John knows that worst case, he is playing James Cameron away on the road in the title game. That's as bad as it gets. And you know, if you're Adam and Zach, if you just keep doing what you're doing and play your best football against Niall,
That the
you're
two of
probably
them are destined to meet.
yeah, you're probably going to title game too. So why would you give that up? The real goal, the real dream would be that the three of them are in the same division. Because then there's oneness in the playoffs.
No, the three of them could all go.
No,
There's
no,
divisions in
not
CFM that have sent three teams before,
yeah, but not every year. Not realistically.
and not realistically with player teams in it.
That's why I think that we should have a what do you call it? I'd love to see a division with four-player teams.
Can you imagine the
Maybe not.
fight?
Maybe not those four-player teams.
Well, which four? Because it would be bloody tough. Someone would be eliminated.
I would like to see somebody else. I would like to see somebody go to either of the Wests. I'd like to see somebody join Stoops,
It
or
would make
somebody join. I would love to see somebody join James Cameron and Nick in the AFC West.
it would make the regular season more interesting because there'd be like had to have it games in week 9.
Yeah, because you're saying they would all make the playoffs.
I think John would be wild up for it because the one knock on John, and there's very few, is that his PvP record isn't like. I mean, it's like a Charizard, it's class, but it's not a shiny Charizard because he doesn't get the PvP games. Like he only,
But it's not great.
yeah, I mean, it's 2-0 in the last 2 years, and before that, it's still pretty hot, but he doesn't seem to get the player games that other people do.
Yeah.
Like he's the only one. If you look at the list I sent you, I'll throw it into the groups. Everybody's got it for tomorrow as well. Everybody's PvP since all these coaches entered the league. John's the only one that's undefeated, and there's two teams there that haven't even won a player game yet. But 2-0 doesn't sound emphatic, but it is.
Yeah.
I truly believe if John played 10 games, he would win 9.5 of them.
But again, it's the difference between this person has played 10 games and won 9.5 of them, and this person would.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm in no doubt that John would. But it
Oh
makes
no,
it
me
easier.
too.
Makes it easier to see.
Again, I think John would like the actual wins to back up the confidence. There's a huge difference between believing somebody would win 10 games in a row and somebody winning 10 games in a row. And I think that's not a slight against John or me saying that John wouldn't do it. I think he would, but
A dream matchup I want to see is the Cardinals and the Giants. Because if Stips was to win it, Stips would have beaten all three teams capable of being the one seed this year, and that sums him up more than
Mhm.
anything.
yeah.
So my quick summary of the three sophomore coaches, we're talking about Zach winning a bowl already, which is great. I mean, what he's done with his offense is phenomenal. I mean, statistically, he has the best offense. It is probably the best. I've seen it in player games. Yes, he doesn't score 50 in player games, but that's the dichotomy I was chatting with Adam earlier. You score 50, sorry, in CPU games means you score about 35 in player games. You can't be
Yeah.
scoring like 10 in player games or CPU. So here's my point: is there a problem with Oakland right now? I feel like the fire alarm should be going off at the Raiders. Their last three games, they've scored 13 points in every game. It's a 13-3 win at Kansas, 13-3 win against Tennessee, 13-21 loss to the Rams, and there's three player games in his schedule coming up. Oakland's got to get cooking again.
Yeah. Oakland, again, if Oakland get eliminated in the divisional round by John this year, I don't think they'll shed too many tears.
Will they get there though? At 11-5, which is what my projection for them is, it's probably enough. But he has to be flawless through CPU games to go 11-5. And I mean flawless.
10-6, I think you'd get him
Mm, yeah, I don't know. The Steelers might have something to say about that.
in.
And my summary of James Cameron is I truly believe James Cameron will be the one seed this year. And I just don't know if that's enough to get him over the hump.
James Cameron?
Mm. So, Super Bowl predictions. I need you to give me your playoff field for the AFC and your playoff field for the NFC and tell me how the playoffs are going to play out. I can go first if you need time to finish preparing.
Yeah, go first.
Okay. Which conference do you want first?
AFC.
Right. So AFC, I have the following. Well, following. I have the following player teams making the postseason. I have Denver as the 1 seed. I have Houston as the 2 seed. And I have Oakland as the 5 seed.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 through 6, that's Denver, Houston, Pittsburgh, because the North winners are almost certainly going to be the 3 seed because the East winners are below 500.
Yeah.
Buffalo in the 4th seed, Oakland 5, Baltimore 6.
I have I have Houston as the 1 seed.
Okay, I'm curious as to where you think that's going to change in the regular season.
I have Denver as the 2 seed. I
Okay.
have Pittsburgh as the 3, Buffalo as the 4, Baltimore as the 5, and Oakland getting as the 6th.
Okay, so here's how mine plays out, and I need you to tell me how yours plays out. So I have Baltimore going to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh win. I have Oakland going to Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Oakland wins. So divisional round has Pittsburgh at Houston. John
Mm-hmm.
wins. And I have Oakland at Denver, and I have James Cameron doing the treble over Nick this year. But this, I just feel like this one's going to be like an overtime field goal nail biter. And I have Houston going to Mile High and winning the AFC title, and John being the Super Bowl entrant again.
I have Oakland going to Pittsburgh and winning. I have Baltimore going to Buffalo and winning. I then have Oakland going to Houston and losing, and Baltimore going to Denver and losing. And then I have John over James at NRG.
So we both have the same AFC entrant.
Mm-hmm.
Just to clarify that, because I want to make sure we can keep track of these predictions so as people can call us morons if we're wrong. You have Oakland beating Pittsburgh and Baltimore beating Buffalo. And then you've got Baltimore at Houston and Oakland at Denver.
Yeah.
So you've got similar. You got a very similar thing to mine, but hang on. Whoa, that's not right.
What is it?
Tell me your divisional round again.
Oakland going to Houston.
Yes, and Baltimore going to Denver.
Yeah.
Fair. And then you have Denver going to Houston.
Yeah.
But we both have John coming out on top. Okay. So I'll give you my NFC ones now.
Mm.
So I have Zach's Giants as the 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Saints is the 2 seed.
Same.
Niles Bears is the 3 seed.
Same.
The Los Angeles Rams is the 4 seed.
Same.
James's Cowboys is the 5 seed.
I have the Bucks at 5 and
I have,
Cowboys at 6.
I have the Bucks at 6. That's good. So at least we're a little bit different. So in the wild card, I have the Bucks going to Chicago.
Yeah.
And beating them. And I have Dallas going to the Rams and beating them. Then my divisional round is Dallas at the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
Saints win. And it's Bucks at Giants. Giants win. And then the NFC title, it's Saints at Giants. And because Zach has to play a CPU team in the divisional round, I'm going to give Adam the marginal victory in the NFC title game, and we finally get John and Adam in the bowl.
I'm going to go Cowboys go to Bears. Bears win. Bucks go to Rams. Bucks win. Cowboys go to Bears go to Saints. Saints win. Bucks go to Giants. Giants win. And then I have the Giants winning the NFC. Narrowly. Very narrowly.
Oh, it's exciting.
It is. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to the playoffs.
So you've got Dallas going to Chicago and Chicago winning.
I see the Deshaun Watson very quickly has asked the Texans are Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah, I seen that. Put that in the.
Texans did not interview Eric Bieniemy.
They didn't?
Nope.
Oh, that organisation can go to hell. What?
It's done. I reckon he's leaving.
Watson?
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, you can't treat the guy like that.
He's very unhappy.
I can see why.
Yeah,
Is it weird that I have the Bucks beating Niall in the wildcard round, but I also would have Niall beating James Earls in the wildcard round? If that's the way it played out.
I don't know. I think the Bucks beat now. I think that might beat the Bucks.
Niall's played the Bucks twice in the wildcard before, I think, and once he won like 35-6, and the other time he lost. So it's 50-50, and it really shouldn't be 50-50 against the CPU team, even the Bucks. You're talking about the postseason. So I will wait to be proven wrong. Probably will be proven wrong, and will totally accept when I'm proven wrong. Um, I've got to do my quick three-word game for last week's games.
Mm-hmm.
It's very quick. So just to recap, everybody, it's been about 2 weeks since we did some of these games. Saints were at the Rams. Saints won 35-14. My three-word game is better than Ravens. He beat the Ravens 42-0 the week before, but the Rams game was much more of a complete performance. And you know yourself, Niall, from playing. Whenever you play regular season games, you play 16 of them, and about 11 of them are complete washes. They're just stupid. Oh, 50-7, no one cares. But some of them you get your medal tested, and you're like, I can bank that performance. That's going to help me in January.
Yeah.
I think Adams had two of those this year. That's the Seattle game in week one and the Rams game there. The rest of us have all been like total washes. Niall beat the Eagles 21-12 at home. My three-word game is flap Eagles flap. I thought the Eagles were pish. Like, I mean, it's the first time I've seen the Eagles where they haven't thrown the ball to Zach Ertz a whole bunch of times. Travis Fulgham got like a really. I mean, you made this point earlier on about Booth, Niall's corner, getting beaten the weak side all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Fulgham made a play on him and scored a touchdown, but if Niall's not playing as him, he's probably fine to cover it himself. He's not a bad player. So it's 21-12, but I always talk about points people don't deserve and stuff. Niall probably should have won the game by 21-3. Thought the Eagles were putrid.
Yeah, not a great team. Playing in a
Uh,
tough division as well. Like they're never realistically going to win the East.
I think they're 1-10 now.
Well, then they're definitely not going to win the East.
They're going to be the Eagles are shaping up to be the first team mathematically eliminated. Nobody's eliminated just yet though. Broncos beat Indianapolis 47-21. My three-word game is "Fant be asked." I legitimately couldn't be asked watching the second half of the game. I watched the first half, and Noah Fant caught a load of passes, and James Cameron passed the ball a lot more, and it was class. It's exactly what I wanted from Denver. But then it was always just the same audible everybody to nines, roll out, throw a ball to Fant, and the second half was starting to get out, so I didn't finish watching it. Cardinals lost 17-14 to the Chargers. No charge remaining. It wasn't even that close against Ipswich, but they lost 17-3, 17-7. He never felt in it on offense at all at any point in the game. Defensively, he was pretty sound. He was caught out a little bit at the start by a running quarterback, but there was a big layoff. He had his bye week before that, etc. But it wasn't a great performance at all in a game he really needed, because they're all games that he needs now. Yeah, Stoops is winning all of his NFC West divisional games, and that's
What
great.
is the Cardinals record?
5-3. He's flawless in the division, but
I feel
if you lose
he
all
is
your
going
other
to be,
games,
what do you call it? He's going to be a bit of a New York Giants this year.
he's going to go 8-8 and miss out.
He's going to miss out.
The
And
Cardinals missed out last year as well.
realistically, when we look back on it,
hmm
we will see a team that that on the last day could have got in, but at the same time has no one else really to blame for missing the playoffs than themselves.
He has two losses by an exact score of 17-14. There is a method to his losses that needs changed quick.
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys lost in one of the games of the season to the Giants 38-27. And my three-word game is a Dak jacket. If you have a flak jacket, it will take bullets, but if they shoot you in the head, you're dead. James's offense was incredible. Dak Prescott narrowly missed out. I ended up having to put Deshaun Watson in, and we'll get to that. Dak Prescott narrowly missed out on Team of the Week quarterback, which would have been amazing in a losing effort. I thought he played outstanding, But my whole thing at Dak Jacket is because he scored 27 points on Zach. Dallas were never going to win that game if you're allowing 38. And some of it was lag, and some of it was poor quality of players that he has on the roster. Some of it was poor timing. Some of it was great play by the Giants as well. I'm not trying to disparage what they did. We'll get to that. But Dak Prescott played out of his skin, and they couldn't win the game. It was closer than the 11 points it suggests, but I never felt like Dallas were going to get the stop that they needed at any point.
Yeah.
The Giants won that game 38-27, and my three-word game for them is pick your poison. I think at some point in the game, Zach hit him with running backs, tight ends, Herbert picking up some rush yards, Herbert throwing for like 400 yards, Cannon, Gill, Gazicki, Shepard, Slayton. I think it's just frightening the number of weapons that he has now, and you cover the seam. He just throws the seam all the time up the middle. Cover the seam. He's got the dig underneath it. Cover the dig. Oh yes, he is the best running back in the league as well. His defense. It's exactly the sort of way you win a title in CFM as well. His offense is A plus plus, and his defense is B minus. That's okay because he puts 38 on you. Um, the Raiders beat Kansas City 13-3. My three-word game for this is 2-for-1 because Nick beat the Chiefs twice.
I watched the first game,
Yes, please tell us a little bit about that.
and he did great. He deserved to win it off the first game. And I would have much rather, not that I'm begrudging him his win at all. I think he deserved to win 110%. But I would much rather have seen Nick get the win for the first one because I thought he played fantastically. I was really annoyed when I kicked him out. He had the ball. He just broke a run on fourth down to get to the 17 to kick a game-winning overtime field goal against a divisional rival. And I would have loved to have seen that happen for him. He deserves a big marquee win like that after the way he's played this year. And yeah, it did annoy me a little bit that it kicked him. Obviously, I'm sure not as much as it annoyed Nick, but
And the Houston Texans beat the Jags 35-13. Three-word game, not remotely close. And I actually did end up watching this full game. I thought it's about as clean a win as John's had all season. It's really emphatic. It was good. Again, it's not really one of those ones that he's going to take with him to the postseason and be like, "Oh, I won the Super Bowl again because I beat the Jags that time." But offensively, he was toit. Yeah, I would like to see that offense against the player team more often, and we're going to get to. Team of the week time. I've already spoiled it a little bit because I said Dak Prescott was getting in, and he ended up not, and I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. It was nail bitingly close. Um,
it's a bit like what do you call it though?
what's that?
It's a bit like MVP. Very hard to give it to a team that lost.
It's the first time as well in 3 weeks that Justin Herbert and Jordan Love both missed out on the quarterback award. So, team of the week, I went for Deshaun Watson of Houston, Saquon Barkley as running back one of the Giants, Alvin Kamara as running back two from the Saints. I went for a pair of CPU wide receivers and Devin Funches of the Colts and Keenan Allen of the Chargers. The tight end is Darren Waller of the Raiders. Now his stat line might not be the best, but I also took the first game into account, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
The flex position, first time I've ever flexed a player tight end. I got Noah Fant in from the Broncos. And the defense picks itself. Aaron Donald as the Rams pass rusher. Chandler Jones as the Cardinals linebacker. And Chidobe Awuzie as the Dallas DB. He got a pick on Justin Herbert in that game. I think it might have been the only time that Dallas got a stop. I don't remember the Giants punting. And it was a red zone pick as well. Just proof that the Giants drove on them all day.
I'm getting to that point in the season I always get to where we're getting to like very, very close. We're what, week 9 now?
We're in week 10 and we've 3 games to go in week 10.
Yeah, apologies. Where we get to like week 9, week 10. And my mind's just playoffs.
I know, that's why I've queued up 3 elite level guests for the next 3 weeks. to help us kill some of those
My
medium
God,
weeks.
do you know if in Star Trek Online
Yeah.
you go to the main bit on the space station,
Mm-hmm.
there is a list of names of past Star Trek actors that have passed away. There's Anton Yelchin, DeForest Kelly, Leonard Nimoy. There's like a
Bloody hell. That's
memorial
cool.
for them.
That's amazing, actually. Mad
Yeah,
props. No, it's a good show.
continue. Continue there.
I was just saying because I'm in the same. You get to like week 12 Thanksgiving, and you're like, I don't really care if unless it's a player game. I don't really care. I want the playoffs. So the next three guests are Zach, then John, then Niall. So there's fireworks there, like.
Yeah.
So we get Zach coming off his bye this week. So he'll still be undefeated when he comes on the podcast, and he'll be able to talk about the rest of the league. We get John the week before he plays Nick.
Mm-hmm.
And the pièce de resistance, we get Niall in between the Giants and Saints game.
Nice.
Right? And then after that, you've got 5 weeks, and there's a player game every week, apart from week 17.
Oh, beautiful.
One interesting
It'd be
thing
kind of nice having no playoff or player games in week 17 as well.
is the first time, Daniel, in like 4 seasons we've had an all CPU week 17. So I'll be curious to see who rests guys.
Plus, it's
Um,
nice as well because it gives you a little bit of a break before constant playoff games,
uh,
which are usually player versus
everybody's.
team.
It's tough to say now, but everybody's kind of got something to play for. Um, Adam maybe less so. He's got to play the Bucks. It's unlikely Adam's playing for the 1 seed. Let's be real. I don't think that Zach's in much trouble of losing it. Niall's got
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay, which is a divisional game, which might move him from 3 to 4 seed, so he might need to win that. Uh, James Cameron's got nothing to play for against Jacksonville unless he and John have both won out, in which case he needs to get the 1 seed. Stoops will be playing for his life against the Rams. James Earl's probably put some backups out against Washington. If Zach's 15-0 or 14-1, he probably needs to win out as well because he'll need to beat Carolina in the last day because Adam will be sniffing around. Nick's playing the Chargers divisional game, probably needs to get in, and I imagine that unless John's playing for the 1 seed, he'll play backups against Cleveland.
Yeah.
So you got 3 or 4 games there where people can relax up. Be
To be
interesting.
fair, John will be able to probably comfortably play backups against Cleveland.
I
Maybe
was
like just
thinking
two.
that John would rest the last couple of games, but his last 3 games are Zach, James Earls, and Cleveland, so Cleveland might be the first chance he gets to rest.
Yeah, well, that is
Uh,
true.
I got my power rankings for this week ready, and there's a couple of changes. I keep putting a new team in, and I'm trying to put less new teams in because it was you that said it in episode 1. The less new teams you put in means you got more of a beat on the league, so I've got one new team in this week. So, same introduction I always give this. Generally, it's not a rule of thumb, but more or less, I believe that the team in ninth place could beat the team in 10th place, and the team in first place is probably the Super Bowl favourite. Um, I say probably. So, in 10th place, I have the 6-3 Pittsburgh Steelers. They're the new team. But they would lose to the 6-2 Raiders,
Mhm.
who I think would lose to the 8-1 Bears, who I think would lose to the 5-3 Dallas Cowboys, who I think would lose to the 7-2 Bucks, who
Mhm.
I think would lose to the 6-3 Rams,
Mhm.
who I think would lose to the 8-1 Broncos, who I think would lose to the 8-1 Saints, who I think would lose to the 7-1-1 Houston Texans, who I think would lose to the 9-0 Giants. It's not to say that they all would lose to each other, but that's my power rankings. I'm pretty sure I'm not changing the top 2 until they play.
That's
And
fair.
if they both play utter shite, Adam will move up into top if he's won out by them. James Cameron's a weird one. I have him at number 4, but I don't think he can crack the top 3 until he wins in the title game. Which kind of
Yeah, it's
sounds
weird.
really hard to do. It's a
Not,
weird one though, you know?
he doesn't really play strong enough regular season to jump above one of the top three.
Yeah, because he can win out, but if he wins out, he'll beat Stoops, which is a big win, because Stoops has beaten Niall and Adam. He's got to play Nick, which would wrap the division up. He's got the Niners,
That's the
who
thing.
are
That's the thing. He
garbage,
hasn't.
Chargers twice,
But
who are garbage, Chiefs, who are garbage, and Jags, who are garbage. So it's
if
not
he
a tough
hasn't
schedule.
beat in the nicest way possible, if James Cameron hasn't beat Zach, Adam, or John, can't really kick him into that top three. And I think he'd admit that though.
You see the names that I gave for everybody's remaining schedules?
No.
Um, James Earl's schedule is a cakewalk entirely and a loss to John. Uh, Adams is the NFC South featuring Niall. Denver's is Tricky Nick and the Below 500 bunch. The Giants have Clock Munchers and the Champ. The Bears have two biggies and the pesky North. Arizona has, at this stage, who has any idea? The Texans have plenty of pitfalls, and the Raiders have literal death, and their playoffs are in jeopardy.
I can't wait for the playoffs. Can't lie.
They're going to be so good. So I think you and I are both in the same bracket where we think that everybody's going to make the postseason except Stoops at this stage.
Sadly, yes.
Yeah, it's not nice, but my ceiling for him is 8 and 8, and that's not going to be good enough to get in with James Earls locking up one of the spots.
No.
It's just too close. Blazing 5 is the Blazing 2. I can reveal what the lines were for the Saints, Bears, and Broncos game. Not Vegas had the Saints by 4. Yes, that's right, I said 4, not 44. And I had the Saints. Not Vegas had the Niners by 7. I also picked the Niners. I was not to know that Jimmy Garoppolo was going to run plenty of QB draws. That is not the Shanahan way. And 42-14 says I was right. Denver at Seattle, I had Broncos by 10. They won by 30. I also had the Broncos, so I got Saints and Broncos right. You and I, Daniel, need to choose now. Cardinals at Chiefs. Not Vegas as the Chiefs by 3. I'm taking the Cardinals though. Bring on the Cardinals.
Cardinals Chiefs. Did you say so?
Yeah.
I thought you said Cardinals Colts. Cardinals Chiefs. Cardinals by 3. I don't know if I feel good about it.
Okay. Raiders at Jets.
Raiders by 10.
I've gone Raiders. Vegas line is Raiders by 7. He needs to win a game, and I think you and I are both in agreement there. He needs to win a game by more than like a score.
Yeah.
His win margin this season have been 10, 10, 7, 10. And the first two games of the season were 24 and 22. So it's there. Do you remember when Alan Robinson had his own song? It's possible for that Raiders team to pick up. Like, it needs to turn a corner again.
Yeah, I feel like if they're gonna start winning bigger, can't be like week 11 or sorry, game 11. It can't be like 2 or 3 games to go. If you're gonna start winning bigger, you really need to start winning bigger now.
Did you know, actually, this is going to be a quicker elimination than I thought. If Stoops wins against the Chiefs,
Yep.
It'll mathematically eliminate the Eagles.
Oh, beautiful.
They'll be the first team eliminated because they'll not be able to get into the NFC wildcard.
Please do, Stoops.
Nobody. I'm just having a quick look. I don't think anybody's eliminated from the AFC yet. The Chiefs, Patriots, and Bengals, which is funny because that's like the last 3 teams that are in the title game have a combined 3-6-1, 2-7, 1-7 record. So none of them's eliminated just yet. Biggest shocks of the season so far. I don't know what's more shocking, the Giants being in the 1 seed or the Broncos being in the 1 seed. I'm going to say the Broncos is more shocking because it's only because of Houston's tie.
Yeah.
I'm also shocked at the quality of CPU teams. It's been terrible this year, absolutely abysmal. And I don't know if the AI has got any worse because the new one's out, but when you look at the bottom of the standings, the following teams have one win or less. Yes, there are teams that haven't won games yet. And we're at the halfway point of the season. The Chiefs are 1-7. The Eagles are 0-9. The Skins are 1-7. The Niners are 1-8, and the Seahawks are 1-8. Like, and I know that they have divisional. They all have divisional teams to play. Like the Chiefs have got to play two player teams twice, as do the East guys. But the West guys have only got to play Stoops, and they've only played them once each. Like they're 1-8.
Yeah.
The following teams are below 500. Chargers, Colts, Jags, Finns, Bengals, Patriots, Falcons, Panthers, Lions. It's just the Bills actually, sorry, are the East winners right now, and they're below 500. It's the worst season I've seen in years in the CFM for CPU records across the board.
They have
There
been very.
there are three teams in the AFC North with winning records, and outside of that, it's dreary as pish. Just thoughts on the potential move at some point in Madden 21. I'm not sure if you've seen. I'm gonna throw it into the chat to you so you have an eye on it before you answer. The list of the seven seeds from years gone by.
Uh-huh.
A lot of this has been made that it would allow too many people into the playoffs. I don't like the seven seed idea. In real life, I don't like it. In terms of the CFM,
I don't mind it.
it actually the only CFM team that would benefit from it would have been Stoops last year. The 2 years Niall missed, and the 1 year that Charles missed, and last year was Nick and Zach as well. They would all have still missed even with the seven seed. But there are some. I mean, you look at that there.
Some
How
good
many?
teams.
How many of those teams are 9-7? I don't think it's a good record at all. 9-7. But
I don't know.
I'm telling you now, the two seven seeds this year are not going to have 9 wins in this CFM safe. There's no way.
I don't think it's what do you call it? I don't think a CPU team. It's double digits outside what do you call it? Sorry.
The two seven seeds right now, by the way, are the 5-4
I don't
Browns.
think there's a single CPU team that makes double digits outside of divisional winners.
I think there's a CPU team that's double digits.
I don't think so.
The Bucks certainly will.
I don't know.
They're 7-2.
Three of their last nine to play Adam. I don't know, but even then, one wild card team on 10 wins out
Oh,
of all the
the
CPU teams.
the Bucks will have 11 wins. Their only CPU, their only player game the rest of the year is Adam in week 17. They don't play a single other player. It's quite a stroke of genius and luck. But the two seven seeds right now are the Browns at 5-4 and Dallas at 5-3. Dallas, I think, will be a wild card team, and the Browns will be lucky to have 9-10 wins.
There's just not enough good teams in the league for me.
Which is weird
Outside of the
because,
player teams.
as we say, we've not got a ton of player teams in. It's thin.
Yeah.
Like in years gone by,
No,
I would get to this stage and there would be a Baltimore or a Green Bay or a Seattle who would be like, I don't know, 7-3, like the Bucks are. But there would be a couple of teams outside of the playoff spots who are floating about like we're gonna be a stickler down the road, like a Panthers did 1 year. You know, they're gonna we're gonna shock you. But I don't know. The Jags did it last year when they got 11 wins. Remember they were gonna. How many wins did they get last year? It was like 13. I think they they did something crazy. Like they won it. The Jags last year were 10-5-1. They were gonna be they didn't lose any game apart from the two John played. against them until right at the end of the season. But they were flying and they got in as the 5 seed.
It is weird
I mean, looking at
this
it,
year. It feels a
there's
bit
one, two,
strange.
three, four, five. That's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Half the league last year finished below 500,
Ooh,
but this year it's worse than that,
that's almost impressive.
isn't it?
In a really bad way.
Like there was 16 teams at the end of last year below 500. At this
16.
stage, there are 15 teams below 500. It's going to get worse. It always gets worse. And it's like I'm looking at teams like San Francisco and Seattle who are both 1-8. They're going to get some more wins, but they're going to finish
Yeah.
below 500 because they've got 8 defeats already. There's going to be over half the league that are below 500, and that's maddening. Like it's freaky to me.
It is. Again, this is why I'm pushing for teams to be in the same division as each other.
Because in the PvP head-to-heads are all more centralized.
Yeah, I'm just sick of everybody. I don't think CPU games really provide much of a challenge.
I mean, I'm looking at
That
the
for
AFC East
anybody who
doesn't have a winning
disagrees.
team. The AFC East doesn't have a winning team in it.
There you go. Like,
Who has the AFC East this year? Surely a player team must be having it to beat up in a weak division.
well, we have a player in every NFC division, so yeah, somebody does.
Does anybody have them in the AFC? It's Niall. Niall has the AFC East. He's beaten Miami, the Jets, Buffalo, and he's got New England to play. I don't think
And he should
anybody.
trash them.
I don't think anybody in the AFC has them. No, they don't.
It must be the AFC North that is in this year then.
Yeah, must be. That'll be where they all have winning records.
But yeah, there's too many bad divisions full of CPU teams now that player teams are just absolutely destroying them.
So you got a problem though because there's 8 player teams, so we could put one in each division. But the problem then is everybody wins their division, and the shit teams get slapped about in wildcard.
Yeah.
I don't mind people being in a division by themselves. Adam is in a division by himself. No one goes, oh, Adam, big load of CPU teams have flicked his way in here, because Adam cleans house when he gets to the postseason.
Plus, when you say Adam beats some CPU teams, he usually beats about 15 of them.
Yeah. And he's beaten one player already, and he'll probably beat 2.
Yeah.
But we know who are the easy ride teams that win a CPU division and don't do anything in the postseason. As I already pointed out earlier on this chat, that Stoops has won the West and never won a playoff game, and James has won the East and he's won the North, and he won the North with a player team in it and hasn't won a playoff game. That's why I have hope for Zach. I mean, if you look at CFM history, the odds are Zach's going to get beat in the divisional round because he has never won a playoff game before, so he's not going to have a deep run in his first year. But he's winning the division with an experienced player in it.
Yeah.
And he beat Niall and Zach, no, he beat Niall and Adam last year, and he's going to play Niall and John this year. So plenty of good warm up games.
It'll be very interesting, the playoffs this year.
It's amazing that we've got like 7 weeks to go, and we've got 1, 2, 3. No, let me see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 PvP games still to go, and they're all important so far as I can see. Even in games like Dallas versus Houston, someone's got something to play for.
Yeah, Dallas Houston will be an interesting one as well.
Right, give me three predictions before we sign off for the rest of this regular season, not the postseason, because we've got to make the
I
regular season
think
interesting.
Zach goes undefeated. I
Okay,
really think he does.
okay.
I don't think he wins the Super Bowl, but I think he was undefeated.
I don't think he wins the Super Bowl in the regular season either.
I think James Cameron panics slightly atop the AFC
And
and drops the one seed.
wobbles and lets John back in.
Yeah. And I
Okay.
think Nick wins a playoff game.
Regular season.
But yeah, I think Nick makes the playoff.
Nice save. Right, I'll give you my three. I'll say that James Cameron wins out and goes 15-1, which would
Okay.
give him the one seed. And it's comprehensive as well. He doesn't fluke any of them. It's comprehensive.
Yeah.
I think Nick eliminates Stoops in week 16 at Arizona,
Oof. Big oof.
and Nick will very quickly turn from the sweetheart of the league to the bastard that killed Stoops. And for my third and final trick, I'm really
Mm-hmm.
tempted to say I'm tempted to just go mad and say that James Earls beats John at his place, but I don't think it's going to happen. What I think will be closer is
That would be a shock. And it would be a big one for James squared.
I'll go outrageous prediction. I'll say that Niall loses his back-to-back PvP
Mm-hmm.
and then has some sort of fucking relapse and can't get it done against Green Bay and Detroit. The two games after that look like an absolute horrocks, and he goes from 8-1 down to like 11-5, and it'll cost him the three seed.
Mm.
But as Niall showed from the five seed last year, sometimes Niall dropping a bunch of seeds actually
Isn't
helps.
the worst thing.
Yeah, you can make a run from a lower seed, get a bit of warm up games. That's what always caught James Earls cold, winning his division and then crashing. Right, anything else to add? Or will we end episode 9 there?
No, I'm not gonna.
Oh, next
Yeah,
time
it's
we're
good.
talking about Big Oof. Next time we're on the podcast, we'll be on with Zach. Oh, I'm excited.
Nice.
Right, thanks very much for listening, whether you're having your breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It's been an absolute blast. Really enjoyed tonight's episode. I thought it was nice just to step away from having a guest on, just a big sort of review of everything that's happened.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, thanks for listening, guys. Feedback,
Take it easy,
as
guys. See you later.
always, appreciated. See you guys soon.